Social Security has always been a cornerstone of retirement planning for millions of Americans, but it's now facing some major challenges that could affect your future benefits. With a new bill recently passed, there's a lot of talk about potential changes, and the reality is those changes might not be what we were hoping for. In this video, we'll break down the Social Security Fairness Act, which is set to impact millions, and what it could mean for your checks. We'll also take a closer look at the looming cuts to benefits, a crumbling customer service system, and the political gridlock that's putting the program at risk. Stick around until the end to understand what's really going on with Social Security, how it might affect you, and what steps you can take to protect yourself. Welcome to Financial Area, where we break down the most important financial news so you can make smarter decisions. If you want to stay ahead of the curve, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. The Social Security Fairness Act, which has recently passed, aims to eliminate the Windfall Elimination Provision, WEP, and the Government Pension Offset, GPO, two provisions that primarily affect state and local government employees who also worked in the private sector. These provisions reduce Social Security benefits for individuals who receive pensions from jobs where they didn't pay into Social Security, like some public sector jobs. While this change seems to offer a fairer distribution of benefits, it's not without controversy. Dr. Ed Weir, a key figure in discussing Social Security issues, warns that eliminating WEP and GPO could lead to a financial imbalance within the Social Security Trust Fund. He argues that while some beneficiaries will see an increase in their checks, the removal of these provisions could put a heavier burden on the already strained fund, creating a scenario where those receiving higher benefits may not have contributed sufficiently to cover the cost. This could be a temporary fix that may backfire, exacerbating the long-term funding problems Social Security already faces. Critics like Dr. Weir fear that this legislation, though well-intentioned, may inadvertently lead to a situation where the Social Security system becomes more unsustainable. By giving higher benefits to some individuals who have paid less into the system, it could further strain the resources available for those who rely heavily on Social Security for their retirement. There's a balancing act between fairness for these individuals and ensuring the long-term viability of the entire program. The question remains whether this well-meaning reform is a short-term solution that will cause even larger problems down the road. With the Social Security Trust Fund already facing a significant funding gap, the removal of WEP and GPO could make that gap wider, putting future beneficiaries at greater risk. This is a critical issue that demands further examination, as the consequences could be far-reaching for millions of Americans who depend on Social Security. The future of Social Security is looking increasingly uncertain, with projections showing significant cuts to benefits unless immediate action is taken. According to estimates, Social Security benefits could face a reduction of 21% by 2034, and an even more alarming 33% by 2031 if nothing is done to address the program's growing financial shortfall. This is largely due to the imbalance between the revenue Social Security is receiving from payroll taxes and the benefits it needs to pay out. As the number of retirees continues to grow and the ratio of workers paying into the system shrinks, the Social Security Trust Fund is being drained at a faster pace than it's being replenished. Without changes to the current system, whether through increased revenue or reduced spending, these cuts are all but inevitable. The impact of these cuts will be felt most acutely by future retirees. People currently relying on Social Security for a significant portion of their retirement income could see their benefits reduced by a third. For many, this will mean adjusting their retirement plans, cutting back on expenses, or even delaying retirement altogether. While Social Security will continue to provide benefits, the reduction will make it much harder for retirees to maintain their standard of living, especially for those who do not have substantial savings or additional sources of income. This would particularly hit those who rely solely on Social Security, which is already the primary income source for nearly half of all Americans aged 65 and older. The looming cuts also pose a significant challenge to younger generations, who are already facing an uncertain future when it comes to Social Security. With fewer workers paying into the system and a growing population of retirees drawing benefits, younger people may find that the program is unable to provide them with the same level of support when they retire. The financial strain on Social Security could lead to a generation of workers being left with reduced benefits or, in the worst case, no benefits at all. This looming crisis is not just a problem for today's seniors, but for everyone who is counting on Social Security as part of their future financial security. Without reform, these cuts could become a harsh reality, and the consequences for future generations could be severe. The state of customer service within the Social Security Administration, SSA, is currently at a breaking point, with delays and inefficiencies impacting millions of beneficiaries. For many, trying to get timely answers or assistance from the SSA has become an overwhelming challenge. Reports show that the agency is at a 50-year low in terms of customer service, with wait times on the phone stretching for hours and critical paperwork getting lost or delayed. The problem stems in large part from severe staffing shortages and inadequate funding. As the number of people seeking assistance continues to rise, particularly with aging baby boomers entering retirement, the SSA has struggled to keep up. This backlog of cases, coupled with underfunded resources, means that many people are left in the dark about their benefits or are forced to wait months for a response to even the most basic inquiries. The problems with Social Security customer service have been further exacerbated by the broader issue of political mismanagement. Dr. Ed Weir has pointed out that political gridlock over funding and reform has hindered meaningful improvements. For years, lawmakers have failed to address the underlying issues that are causing delays and poor service at the SSA. While Congress has passed laws and bills that may provide temporary fixes, such as the Social Security Fairness Act, there is still a glaring lack of comprehensive, long-term solutions to stabilize the agency. Lawmakers are often focused on short-term political gains, rather than the pressing need to overhaul the Social Security system to ensure its sustainability and efficiency. This failure to act has left the SSA under-resourced and overwhelmed, which is particularly damaging to seniors who depend on timely, accurate information to navigate their benefits. Compounding the problem is the shift toward online services, which is leaving many beneficiaries in the lurch. With fewer paper-based communications being sent out, the SSA is increasingly directing people to online portals to manage their benefits and check for updates. While this is an effective way to streamline operations for some, it leaves a large portion of the population, especially older Americans, struggling to adapt to the digital transition. Many individuals are not comfortable with using online tools or lack access to reliable internet, making it even harder for them to manage their Social Security accounts. As paper-based systems continue to fade, those who are less tech-savvy are at risk of being left behind, adding to the frustration and confusion surrounding Social Security. For a program that millions rely on for financial security, the lack of adequate support and attention to these challenges is a serious concern, leaving beneficiaries more vulnerable to mistakes, delays, and poor service at the worst possible times. The future of Social Security is fraught with uncertainty, from potential cuts in benefits to the challenges of navigating a strained customer service system. While the recent passing of the Social Security Fairness Act may seem like a step forward, it also raises concerns about the program's long-term sustainability. With projected benefit reductions and growing political gridlock, it's clear that major reforms are needed to protect the system for current and future beneficiaries. As we face these challenges, staying informed and proactive about your Social Security benefits has never been more crucial.